Hi, it's good to see you again. Great to start the weekend with Detroit.
All right.
Cute.
What?
That's kind of cute.
Yeah. So, what's going on, everybody? This is Joe.
And Amy.
And as you can see, we are back with more Detroit Become Human. Last time was a lot.
Yeah.
It was a hell of a thing. So, while it could be triggering to some, what I will say is if it would not necessarily be for you, I encourage you to go watch the last episode with, appropriate measures being taken. If that would be something that would be tough for you to watch, then maybe don't. But yeah, it was a lot.
I will say, playing it, I was pretty okay with the actual the actual moments that we were playing it. And then afterwards, I was a fucking wreck.
Yeah.
So self-care is important.
Yeah. Well, I was actually going to ask, the father and daughter were depicted as real people. There was an android in the mix, and that aspect of it didn't make it absurdist in a way that it didn't that it wasn't as severe. Correct?
What do you mean?
You look tired today. I hope you're doing okay.
Wow.
Well, fuck you too, lady. You never look tired because you're a machine.
No, because it is the father and daughter aspect of what happened there happens here in the real world, but an android being there for that part of the process does not happen in the real world. But adding that element of lack of realism or unrealism didn't kind of delegitimize the situation in any way.
No, not at all.
Right. Which is kind of, I would assume...
It's seemingly the point of this game.
Mm-hmm.
To show that these androids have a level of care.
Right.
That should be associated with how humans treat them.
Yeah.
And what humans have them do, since humans have them do things.
I know sometimes things can be difficult, but I'm here for you.
It's so weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
But yeah, it's a nice and realistic, although fantasy or science fiction. It's a nice and realistic way of depicting a pretty common trope, I would say, of, these people matter too, kind of thing.
Right. Okay. So are you ready to get back to it?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's see who we're going to start off as today. Wow.
We're going to start off as a loading screen.
Yeah, hell of a load there, PS4. We get it. All right, here we go. November 5th, 2038.
Gorgeous house. So
9:42 p.m.
Connor? Yeah.
Markus.
That was by far the most boring party I've been to in the last 25 years. Every time I go to one of these, I ask myself, what the hell am I doing here? I hate cocktail parties and all the schmoozers that go there.
Well, it's a chance for all those people who admire your work to meet you.
Yeah. No one gives a damn about art. All they care about is how much money they're gonna make out of it. Come on, let's have a drink. Oh, the excitement of this whole thing has made me thirsty.
That's interesting.
What?
No one gives a damn about art. All they care is how much money they're gonna make out of it. So, you know, and so this company who created this game obviously cares a lot more about art than they do about the amount of money that they're going to make from this game.
Sure.
I'd say that's very clear.
Mm-hmm.
Scotch? Neat as usual?
Absolutely.
Okay, but you know what your doctor would say.
Yeah, well, he can kiss my ass. I'm old enough to choose my own medication.
Oh, I thought it was trying to ask you if you didn't want to
Did you
give him
leave
the
the
scotch.
light on in the studio?
Nope.
No, I'm sure I didn't.
Call the police.
Okay.
Call.
Detroit Police, what's your emergency?
This is Carl Manfred's android at 8941 Lafayette Avenue. We've just returned home and found the lights on. There may have been a break-in.
A patrol car is on the way.
Let's go check it out.
You're not gonna wait for the police.
It's not what he said.
Oh, shit. So we're gonna get him murdered, essentially, right now.
I mean, he asked to go.
Yeah. But we could just not take him.
Leo!
Yeah.
What are you doing?
You refused to help me, so I'm helping myself. It's crazy what some people pay for this shit.
Don't touch him.
Look, they're all gonna be mine sooner or later anyway. Just think of it as a down payment on my inheritance.
Markus, get him away from there. Get him out of here.
Make Leo leave.
What does that mean?
Reason, order, advise, or warn.
Advise.
Listen, you should go before things get worse.
All you ever do is tell me to go away. What's wrong, Dad? Not good enough for you? Not perfect, like this fucking thing?
That's enough. Get out right now.
What makes it so special anyway, huh? What's it got that I don't?
Leave him alone.
Come on, let's see what you got.
Markus, don't defend yourself, you hear me? Don't do anything.
Go ahead, hit me. What you waiting for? Think you're a man? Act like one.
This is not fair.
Stop it!
What's the matter? Too much of a pussy?
Stop it, Leo! Stop
You're
it!
scared to fight back, you fucking bitch!
I don't have to obey them. I must decide for myself.
Oh, God. Don't defend yourself. Don't.
Okay. Wonder if I press a button besides X. Nope. Kind of looks like I have to, otherwise we're just gonna sit here.
Oh. I thought we would just wait for, like, a timer to run out.
Nope, I don't see any.
Okay. Then I guess we have to.
Okay.
If we have to, then we have to. But
Wow. Kara, like, pushed through the wall.
Yeah.
He's, like, beating the shit out of it.
okay, just do the gentlest thing you can to him.
Okay.
You're just a fucking piece of plastic.
Oh, Leo, leave him alone!
I'm gonna destroy you. That'll just be me and my dad.
Push him or endure.
Nobody's
Endure.
gonna give a shit anymore, because you're nothing. You hear me? You're nothing.
Carl, no! Carl.
Humans. Fragile machines.
Carl, don't leave, okay? Please don't go. Don't leave.
Remember, Marcus, don't let anybody tell you who you are.
No. No. Dad. No. Please.
This is all your fault. This never would have happened if it weren't for you. The android. Who's the android?
Wow.
We earned a trophy of self-control because you chose to obey Carl and endure and not defend ourselves.
Yeah.
Instead of what I guess would be fighting back, which would have led us down this lower path, because there was only one branching point at all. Oh, interesting. I guess you could have waited. But no, because then the next branch either way is confronting Leo. So you could have done something else alongside Check Studio with Carl, I guess. But we didn't. But okay. Okay, so Broken was what this section was called. And yeah, we got to a point of Leo accusing Markus of having killed Carl. So what do you think?
I'd be interested to find out what happens next here. Like, is Markus just dead now? Are they just, like, throwing him out on the trash heap?
Okay.
Or are they going to question him?
Right.
Or are they going to decide that he doesn't deserve to give his point of view? Are they going to question Leo? And is Carl actually dead? Because I'm not 100% convinced that he's actually dead.
Sure. What did you think of what Markus said to him while he was on the ground? He called him dad.
Not great. If you were just in a physical altercation with the actual son of this man, you should probably take into account that he's still standing in the room when you call this man dad when he's not really your dad. I'm not saying that you shouldn't call this man dad when he's not really your dad if that's the relationship that you have with him, especially as he's dying. But you should probably take into account the fact that his actual son just actually fought with you in the same room. He's still standing there. He can hear what you're saying. And maybe that sucks for you as this man is dying. That you don't get to do that.
Sure.
But you shouldn't do that.
I will also point out, after Obey Carl, that says Carl dies of a heart attack.
Okay.
So, I don't think...
He was also holding his stomach, which was not his heart at all. Yeah. So... maybe they didn't depict that in the most realistic manner, but...
So if we look at stats, so 72% checked the studio, and then, wow, it's 50-50?
Yeah, I really wish that we could have, like, seen the branching path of how to not check the studio.
Okay,
because
sure.
I really did not want to do that.
It's not a branching path. It's literally just one other thing, but then you still confront Leo.
That-
So maybe it's Leo comes out, like if we wait, like Leo still comes out and you just confront him in that room instead of the studio. I don't know. But
either way,
it's not a branching path. You'd see the other directions just still locked.
Either way, I did not like the idea of going in there. I just thought we didn't have a choice.
Sure. Break Mind Palace. That's what that red wall apparently is called.
Interesting. Mind Palace.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I am super fascinated that it's 50-50 though. That 50% obey Carl and 50% fight Leo.
Wow.
Or fight back against Leo or whatever.
That seems like a lot to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in which direction?
In the not listening to Carl direction.
Okay.
I understand that you feel that it's important to defend yourself, but Carl just said not to. And that's because his actual son is there and doesn't want his actual son to be hurt by a machine whose capabilities are probably much more significant than that of his like drugged out son.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So Marcus punching this guy could actually seriously fucking hurt him.
Yeah.
Whereas this guy punching Marcus is going to do a hell of a lot less.
Right. So what do you think?
Just because of the physicality of their bodies.
Right. So what do you think? Like, the branching path is you fight Marcus, you fight Leo, then Carl still dies of a heart attack, the police still arrive, and then, but they, like, kill Marcus or shoot Marcus anyway because now Leo is beaten up on the ground and Carl is dead on the other side and there's Marcus standing in between.
Right.
That's my guess. The other thing that I find interesting is, we talked about this.
Or Leo's actually dead.
Like, we would kill him in defending ourselves? Maybe.
Could be.
I'm curious, because there are ways, I'm relatively certain, of coming back and doing the other paths, I think. Not like the game's not going to let you do it, like, in the progression of the story.
I wouldn't want to do the other path here.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay.
That would not be a better situation to end up in.
Sure. Okay.
Where now Leo is dead or beaten
Maimed
to
or
within
whatever,
an inch of his life.
Sure.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
not a better situation than the one we're in.
Yeah. You ready to move on?
Yes.
It's Connor, November 6th.
Why'd you kill him? What happened before you took that knife? How long were you in the attic? Why didn't you even try to run away? Say something, goddammit! Fuck it, I'm out of here.
Wow.
Hank, neutral.
We're wasting our time interrogating a machine. We'll get nothing out of it.
Software.
Always try roughing it up a little. After all, it's not human.
Androids don't feel pain. You would only damage it, and that wouldn't make it talk. Deviants also have a tendency to self-destruct when they're in stressful situations.
Okay, smartass.
Seems
What
easy.
should we do then?
I could try questioning it.
What do we have to lose? Go ahead. Suspect's
Have a
all
lot
yours.
to gain, in fact.
We get to do an interrogation. Even though we have a software instability.
We have a software instability?
You didn't see that in the top right-hand corner?
No.
Extract confession. Oh.
What's that thing?
Until we can look at
Guess we can look at
ourselves
stuff.
/ them.
What the fuck is it doing now?
We could look at him. Hold on. Is it not going to let... Yeah. We can look at him.
Oh, look at how exposed the insides of his arms are.
Well, because he got beat
Yeah.
with the bat and everything. All right, so we can look at the file.
Okay.
Not that we don't remember what happened, but...
Unlocked something?
Yeah, it opens up a conversation path, basically.
Okay. Are we going to sit down?
I guess.
Are we able to do that?
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, you ready?
Yes.
Analyze or interrogate?
Analyze.
Ooh, 5 clues to analyze. Model HK400 Housekeeper. Manufacture date is May 29th, 2030. Property of Carlos Ortiz. Okay. Burn marks. Repeated markings over 16 months caused by cigarettes.
Yeah. That's not surprising.
Hit marks. Non-critical damage level 2 caused by baseball bat. Multiple impacts. So this, I guess, is where he was defending himself.
Yeah.
Right? He put his arms up. DNA analysis. Ortiz Carlos. Sample date more than 19 days. Okay? And it's
19 days.
dried blood. Well, yeah, that's how long he was dead for.
Oh, I didn't remember that.
Yeah.
Jeez. It's a while.
And processing LED. Signs of software instability. Probability of self-destruction low.
Okay.
Okay. Ready to interrogate?
Yes.
Reach optimal stress for confession. 35% is the level, but you can see... All right, fear, wounds, show photos, or name.
Wounds.
Wounds.
You're damaged. Did your owner do that? Did he beat you?
Okay, photos, fear,
Show
or name.
photos next. If you're gonna ask about the owner, you show the owner.
You recognize him? It's Carlos Ortiz. Stabbed 28 times. That was written on the wall in his blood.
Okay, so you need to get it in this box.
Okay.
Comfort, reassure, threaten, or blame.
Oh boy. Fuck. Reassure.
I'm not going to hurt you. I just need to ask you some questions so we can understand what happened.
Oh, it went down.
Yeah, I know.
Sympathize, threaten, probe memory, or trust.
Trust.
I'm here to help you. But you've got to trust me.
He's going down again.
All I want
know.
is to get you out of here.
You have to get it in the...
He has to
Okay.
has to gain his trust first, otherwise he's not gonna tell him anything.
Sympathize, threaten, or probe memory.
Probe memory.
If you won't talk, I'm going to have to probe your memory.
No! No, please don't do that. What? What are they gonna do to me? They're gonna destroy me, aren't they?
Lie or tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
They're going to disassemble you to look for problems in your biocomponents. They have no choice if they want to understand what happened.
Why did you tell them you found me? Why couldn't you just have left me there?
Lie or tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
I was programmed to hunt deviants like you.
Oh, we're in the optimal
I just
levels.
accomplished my mission.
I don't want to die.
Then talk to me.
I can't.
Choose your approach.
Okay. How do you
Pressure it, probe its memory, or convince it.
convince it?
Understanding, threaten, or order.
Order.
You're a machine you were designed to obey, so obey!
Nice.
Tell me what happened.
Sympathize, comfort, indifferent. We lost it.
Okay,
Indifferent.
then. Don't talk.
That was very fast.
What do I care after all? I mean, I'm not the one accused of murder, right?
Protect, terrify, or warn.
Warn.
If you remain silent, there's nothing I can do to help you. They're gonna shut you down for good. You'll be dead. Do you hear me? Dead.
Okay, getting to the upper bounds here. But it's still optimal.
He tortured me every day. I did whatever he told me, but there was always something wrong. Then one day, he took a bat and started hitting me. For the first time, I felt scared. Scared he might destroy me, scared I might die. So I grabbed a knife and I stabbed him in the stomach. I felt better. So I stabbed him again and again until he collapsed.
There's still a lot of times to stab somebody before.
There was
they
blood
die.
everywhere.
Writing, statuette, RA9, or attic.
What the hell? I don't even know what half this shit is.
RA9 was like something that was written on the wall, I think.
Statuette?
The sculpture in the bathroom. You made it, right? What does it represent?
It's an offering. An offering so I'll be saved.
I fucking knew it. Wow.
Writing, RA9, offering, or attic.
Writing.
Why did you write "I am alive" on the wall?
He used to tell me I was nothing. That I was just a piece of plastic. I had to write it. To tell him he was wrong.
Go back to the offering. I want to learn more about that.
The sculpture was an offering. An offering to whom?
To RA9. Only RA9 can save us.
RA9.
RA9. It was written on the bathroom wall. What does it mean?
That's right, it was like
The
all of
day
the
shall
shower.
come when we will no longer be slaves. No more threats. No more humiliation. We will be the masters.
Insist RA9, attic, or trigger.
Insist RA9.
RA9. Who is RA9?
Nothing.
Fuck. What's trigger mean?
Like, what was the trigger? Like, why did that one time, what was that made you scared? At least I assume.
Alright. Yeah, I want to save attic for absolute last.
Okay.
When did you start feeling emotion?
Before he used to beat me and I never said anything. But one day I realized it wasn't fair. I felt
That's what Markus said.
hatred. And then I knew what I had to do.
Okay.
Crap.
Last but not least.
The attic.
Why did you hide in the attic? Instead of running away?
I didn't know what to do. For the first time, there was no one there to tell me. I was scared. So I hid.
We got the confession.
I'm done.
There's nothing else we can do besides get up. We can't even try to comfort him now in any way.
We completed our mission and we're an android, right? So it's not about making him feel better. We needed to extract a confession. We did so, and now our mission is complete. It's time for us to get up and leave. It's not about his feelings right now to Connor, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fuck me.
Yeah. Even if we walk back over to him or whatever, like there's nothing else that we
Doesn't
get to.
let you touch him or anything.
No, like we can walk right up next to him if I can ever figure out the controls well enough
Does
to get
it
to
like
that point.
allow you to look at him or?
Yeah, like we can look at him, but
Oh, but no. There's not a button
correct.
for that. Yeah.
Correct.
Okay, so we have to look.
Chris, lock it up. All right, let's go.
Leave me alone. Don't touch me.
Oh boy, his stress is
The
going
fuck
up.
are you doing?
Intervene or give up.
Move it!
Intervene.
You shouldn't touch it. It'll self-destruct if it feels threatened.
Stay out of this, got it? The fucking android's gonna tell me what to do.
Intervene or give up.
Intervene.
You don't understand. If it self-destructs, we won't get anything out of it.
I told you to shut your fucking mouth! Chris, you gonna move this asshole or what? I'm trying!
Intervene or give up.
Intervene.
I can't let you do that. Leave it alone now.
I warned you, motherfucker! That's enough. Mind your own business, Hank.
I said that's enough.
Wow.
Not gonna get away with it this time.
Everything is all right. It's over now. Nobody's gonna hurt you. Please, don't touch it. Let it follow you out of the room, and it won't cause any trouble.
Oh, thank God.
The truth is inside.
Oh yeah.
Software instability increased.
Oh shit.
Trophy earned. Confession. Android was sent back to its cell. So here's the branching path at the bottom for intervening. Because we did it enough, Android trusts Connor got unlocked.
Oh my God, I have goosebumps.
Nothing like a nice, relaxing game to start the weekend.
Fuck me.
Also, if you notice, when we got the confession, the camera popped over to Hank, and his relationship with us increased.
Okay.
And then again, when we kept intervening, Hank's relationship with us increased and went from neutral to warm.
Yeah.
And that's when he called out the other cop,
Yeah.
and pulled his gun on him.
Which was still very shocking.
Yeah. But we got the confession. We used convince as opposed to the other three. Convincing succeeds. Android confesses. And then, yes, Chris intervenes. We intervene. The android trusts us, and it was sent to its cell. As opposed to what I assume is blows up, which is the one right above it. And so if we look over here, I mean, all of the things that we could have done inside the room, right? Looking at ourselves in the mirror, looking at the android, etc. Oh, and analyzing the wounds, looking at the photos. We did all those things, which allowed us to unlock all those paths of discussion.
Yeah.
It looks like there was an upper path, but that branches near Android Confesses here in the middle.
Oh, okay. So he wouldn't have confessed.
Right. If we pushed it to either too much or not enough to get into that optimal zone, which I will say, you know, it sounded like I doubted you, and you did an incredible job. So nicely done.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so let's check out the stats of the world.
Yeah, I definitely felt that it was very imperative for me to handle that way.
Sure. And again,
as opposed to any other way.
Right. And again, you did a great job. I you know, it was very nice. 41% completed. So 95% of people analyzed the android, analyzed the stress level, and analyzed the wounds, but only 40% reviewed the photos first. So you wouldn't have had that option of showing the photos. Right. So only 40% of people actually did that.
Oh, you wouldn't have had the option of showing the photos
because you wouldn't have
review them.
You wouldn't have known they were in there. You wouldn't have looked in there. You wouldn't have known necessarily that they were in there.
Wow. That would have changed everything.
Well, kind of. I mean, it increased the stress level and everything, right? Like it's just another avenue to increase or decrease stress, right? So it would have been another increasing option.
It's so important. And maybe not here because this is a game and clearly based on this it's pretty linear in the ways in which it can go.
Right.
But it's so important that if you're going to address somebody about something that's happened to them and try to understand what's happened to them, it's so important that if you have access to any kind of a visual anything, that you show it to them and you make them aware that you're looking at it too. Because that's going to help them trust you. It's going to help them know what to say. It's going to help them be able to say it.
Well,
like,
not only that, but it especially in this case where you're showing pictures of a victim that the accused has a relationship with.
Yeah.
I mean, no pun intended for the fact that this, you know, what this game is, but it humanizes it.
Right.
You're not just saying, well, what happened, and so the accused can kind of not focus in on what the subject of the conversation's about. They're now looking at that person that they had a relationship with. Whether it was like a close or a strong relationship is irrelevant. It's still a human being that you're showing them pictures of. So yeah, that's a fair point.
Yeah, and
Very
it's really important to have that as a tool because it's so much easier for that person to just not talk to you at all.
Right.
Without that there.
I will say...
It's such a tool.
Right. I will say choosing your approach, convince was 64%. There were 4 options and 64% of people still chose convince.
Yeah.
Which is great. And then the convince succeeds is only 35% though.
Wow. Wow. What is that based on?
All of the things. Getting it into that optimal zone. So, like, the convincing succeeds, but you still have to get it into that, like, 50 to 75% area. So, 54% of people got the confession.
Okay. Wow, that's it.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then, so then Chris intervenes 50% of the time. We intervened, and only 42% of people did.
He only intervenes 50% of the time. Oh, well, that's probably...
Chris, that's the asshole cop.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant when we had to. No, that's Connor.
Yeah, we're
Their
Connor.
C name, but okay.
We're Connor,
Right.
and then Clancy Brown is
I
Hank.
thought you were saying that like so many people just didn't intervene.
No.
When they were trying to touch him. And
Well,
stuff.
that's here.
Later.
That's the 42%.
Wow.
We were in the minority in intervening in that situation.
Wow.
And so
I will say, like, if that's counting all the separate times you have to intervene, because that was a lot.
Yeah.
That was a lot.
It was 3, I think.
It was 3 or 4. It was difficult. Time 3, time 4 to intervene.
Yeah.
Because shit was getting real.
Yeah.
But it's so important. How
Well,
could you not do that?
Right, the percentage level was continually of stress was continually going up. So, yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's because I think the reason that you wouldn't do that is because that one cop was getting so hostile towards you. Right? So you have to feel like
Well, that's
to
part
a degree.
of why it's hard.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So only 29% of people had the android trust Connor.
Wow.
And give that line to him of the truth is inside or whatever.
Wow. Again, so important. The
Yeah.
way I did this, I would not change a moment. I really would not.
Well, there was that one that was way too fast. It was so fast. And it went to indifferent. Of like, fine, don't confess, I don't care. But like that wasn't a choice. That was just we didn't make a choice. But that wasn't super impactful,
yeah.
that particular moment. It was just so fast. And so 42% of people got it where he was sent back to his cell.
Wow.
As opposed to whatever these other 3 possible endings are. Because I assume, right, this upper path only appears if the android doesn't confess, it seems.
Yeah.
Right? And so if that's the case, then there are 2 options up here. I guess probably he blows up or he doesn't blow up.
Right.
Right? And yet it's after not having received a confession as opposed to receiving a confession. Okay.
And I guess the other one here is blowing up
Right.
after receiving the confession.
Right, because it would be after we don't intervene here,
Right.
then it branches up to him blowing up
Self-destructs.
because, right, and he doesn't trust us. Well, also, this thing down here, right, this may be like a hidden thing? I can't quite tell.
Yeah, because we unlocked it.
Right. Okay. Well, Amy, that was really nicely done today.
Wow.
Like I said, nice relaxing game.
Yeah. This game, man. If you guys watch these episodes, even I was about to say if you guys buy this game, but if you guys watch these episodes, even it might be important to make sure that after you're done, you take some time and you do something soothing.
Yeah.
Like I said at the beginning of this episode, before I knew, self-care is important.
Right. Well, and it's it's interesting to me, right? There's a large discussion to be had with this game in terms of the symbolism and the metaphors that the game is laying out in comparison to like slavery in general,
Right.
as well as just like the fight of marginalized communities
Right.
attempting to get basic respect and treatment,
Right.
by the world at large or society or the government or whatever you want, however you want to look at it. And
Or the cops.
well, right. But that's what I'm saying, right? And also that was something I was going to mention with the Markus thing from earlier. The cop walked into the room. Sure, Markus is on the ground on top of Carl.
Oh, okay.
No, Markus is on top of Carl, right? And then Marcus stands up, but is visibly crying.
Yeah, which I didn't even know androids could do, so that's kind of cool.
Right. And but Leo just says to the cop, it was the android, and the cop shoots him.
That sounds pretty realistic to me.
I understand that it does, but what I'm saying is look at what they did. Look at the decision that they made in this game to have that be such a snap decision.
Yep.
On the part of the cop. It wasn't even a question.
Yep.
And Marcus, whether he would have protested Leo's statement or not, we'll never know. Right. We weren't given the chance. Marcus wasn't given the chance because the cop just looked and opened fire. The other thing that I find interesting is, I don't know, I guess maybe that I don't know if that's the appropriate reaction for the police. Not shooting Marcus. That's not the appropriate reaction. What I'm saying is they got a call that there might be an intruder in the house.
Right.
So you show up automatically guns drawn into a situation that you don't understand. Like, how do you know that everyone in that room isn't...
That's absolutely what they do. They have to secure the area. They have to have their guns drawn.
But the homeowners are home. So you're walking into a house and you're not familiar with who the homeowners are, what they look like, and you're going to walk into a room with your guns drawn and then apparently make such a snap decision like that.
Like, with your bias.
Well,
you're familiar with the fact that human says android did it, and that means I shoot the android.
Sure, but my point is that seems like, and again, that this kind of gets into a discussion of like police training and etc. And I have no knowledge of what police training is or what is or is not appropriate. Right. I know how I feel, and my personal feelings don't dictate how police should act, nor should they. Like there are probably things
just not qualified.
Right. There are probably things that I'm correct on, and there are probably things that I'm not correct on, if that is even something that you can say that there is a right and wrong answer,
right,
and delineate it in that way. But it just seems to me like if you're a police officer and you're walking into a situation where there could be an intruder in a home, but you gain access to that home, you don't know when you walk into that house who is an intruder and who is the homeowner or someone who has permission to be there.
Right. And what's interesting in that situation too is that the android is the one who called.
Yes.
The police.
Correct.
Now, if the actual officers who responded to the call had actually heard the 911 call,
which they wouldn't have. Nope.
It might have been more of a hesitation for them.
Maybe, but you could also, I mean, if they're getting a call from dispatch, right, they would probably hear, like, possible break-in, this address, Android called it in. You know what I mean? Like, having that quickly said, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know that they would say that.
I don't know what the protocol is. Again, we talked about that. I don't have that kind of knowledge, but, yeah. So, okay, overall, what did you think of today's episode?
Amazing. This game is amazing.
Good. I'm glad that you're enjoying it. I'm glad that... What do you think of the fact... I mean, maybe you have no idea because you have nothing to base it, like, to compare it to. But what do you think of the fact that this is your first PS4 or PS3 or whatever game that you're playing?
I think it's setting a fucking high bar. So
well,
I don't really know what your rationale for it was, because I'm not sure that you're necessarily going to be as happy with the result as you think you will be.
Well,
in that if I'm going to be comparing other things that we play on this system to this game, it's going to be a fucking high bar.
Sure.
And I have a feeling that even some of the better stuff, or the stuff that you would expect me to respond very positively to, I might not respond to it as positively as you think, because I experienced this first.
Sure. Well, the only counter argument I have to that is you played Life is Strange pretty early on.
I did.
And you still enjoy all the Steam games that we play.
Yeah. But yeah, that's still my favorite.
Oh, of course.
And it will remain that way.
Sure, but I would argue that I, at least from what I've seen, I don't think it diminishes your experience with any other game just because with one of the first games that you played turned out to be your favorite of that
of the stuff
console of that console type.
Okay. Yeah, and I guess there's the argument that could be made that it opened me up more to the possibility of what I could experience from them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, starting with something that good means I'm not sitting there going, why are we doing this again? Okay, fine. I'll get on the mic and talk about how this game is X, Y, and Z.
Sure.
You know, yeah, I can see the argument that starting with something that good makes it so that I'm open to whatever you'll show me next.
Sure. Now, I think there's an argument to be made that Life is Strange in the game mechanics of the game is similar to this game.
Strikingly, yeah.
But what I'll ask you, over the course of this game, and maybe you have your own opinions from Life is Strange, but I still don't want you to answer now regardless. But what I want you to think about while we play, or as we play through this game, is what your thoughts are in relation to these types of game mechanics. Because there are people, all I'll say is there are people who have very strong opinions about this type of a game in terms of you're basically watching a movie and pressing a button every once in a while. You know what I mean? To make that decision.
That you control the story.
So what I want you to think about over the course of this game, and again, drawing from Life is Strange, drawing from this, drawing from some other games that we may have played that I don't think will be out by the time this game is being released on the channel. Think about your feelings of, is this a game enough? Or is it something else? Like, how would you classify it?
Well, and that depends on your definition of a game, absolutely.
Well, and that's why I'm saying, so like,
some people think a game should be something that you sit around with people in person and just have a good time. And that is absolutely not what this is. If that's your definition of a game, there's no universe in which this is a game.
You're not
right?
You're not sitting around and having a good time?
I mean, I'm sitting with you, but
Sure.
we're both in the same household.
Sure.
This is not the type of game where you need to have other people with you.
Correct. This can absolutely be a solo thing.
It would be probably distracting to have other people shouting out answers and muddling your experience with this game.
Mm-hmm.
And it is not fun. It's stressful.
Mm-hmm.
It's impactful. It's very much more what you would consider art to be.
Yeah. Thought-provoking and it's giving you an experience.
Right.
But you're not like sitting down and you're like, man, I can't wait to enjoy Detroit today, but you are sitting down and saying, I can't wait to see what happens in Detroit today.
Yeah.
Sure.
And it's but yeah, I mentioned earlier when Carl said what Carl said. It's very apparent that the people who made this game value art. And art is something that has a mood, something that creates emotion, something that changes you.
Okay.
Before you saw this art, you were you. And now that you've seen that art, you're slightly different of a person.
Sure. Okay.
That's what art is to me. And that's what this game is.
Cool. Okay. So yeah, we will be back next week with the continuation of this very artful game. I would love people's thoughts down in the comments below.
Yes.
That's I mean,
Always.
Talking about art, like, there's no way that the creators of this game didn't want there to be discussions built up by this game. So
Right.
What do you think of the comments that Amy and I have made? What do you think of what occurred? If you played this game, did you get these end results? Did you, and if not, what did you do to get where you got? And why?
Do you think what you did was better than what I did?
Sure.
Or do you think that you wish you had done what I had done? Or, explain all of those things, because we actually really do want to hear them.
Like I said, it should spark a discussion, because that's the point of the game.
Right. I mean, that's very clearly the point of this game.
Exactly. And that even if it is just you and I in the same household having this discussion based on, like, holy crap, this is what just happened, what do you think? And again, the symbolism and the metaphor and etc.
Right. But we also want to have that conversation with you guys.
Correct. That's why we're doing this in the way that we're doing it. And again, that's partially why I've made this decision, because again, to me, game mechanics wise, this is very similar to Life is Strange, and so from that aspect, I felt strongly that it was something that you would enjoy.
Right.
Not the same way that you enjoyed Life is Strange, but because you enjoyed Life is Strange, I knew that this would be the kind of thing that you would also likely enjoy in terms of game mechanics, being able to bridge into, you love art and you love, like, thought analysis and like stuff like that. So this was definitely something that I was looking forward to playing with you. So
yeah, and I will say, if I can compare it to Life is Strange, it is very similar. But I will say, in this game, I feel a lot more, I wouldn't say confident, because I'm definitely not confident when I'm making these decisions. But I will say, when we've gotten to the end result of each of these and we're discussing these decision branches, I'm not sitting there going, I want to see what all these other ones are.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sitting there going, I did the wrong thing, let's go back and redo it.
Sure.
I did that a lot in Life is Strange, and I think that part of the reason for that is because the character is a young girl.
Sure.
And the characters that we play as in this game are arguably more analytical than a young girl.
Sure.
And are arguably a bit more physically impervious to harm.
Sure.
And so, and the situations are so intense. In Life is Strange, it was much more like real life, much more regular. There were things that were big decisions to make, and then there were other decisions that were less important. And in this game, there are no decisions that aren't important.
Right, because otherwise, because then they wouldn't have them as decisions. It would just do it based on the way that this game has been working so far.
Right. And so, arguably, the situations in this game would invoke more fear. But the fact that you're an android that you're playing as, I feel allows you to have a little less fear, as opposed to being someone who you get shot by that cop and you die. The android got shot by that cop. We don't know if he's dead.
Correct.
And even if he is dead, he can still be brought back.
As we saw with Kara.
Yes.
Basically.
But he might not remember Carl. I don't know. We don't really know enough about these androids to know.
Correct.
How badly he would be harmed, and if his memories would be gone or what have you.
Right.
But I think like going in knowing that that's the character that you are and switching up the characters that you are
Sure.
Helps kind of become human. Kind of helps take away some of that feeling of being human. Kind of take away some of that feeling of helplessness that comes from the mortality of being a human and the fragileness, like Carl said, of being a human. So I think in Life is Strange, there were a lot of spots where I would have wanted to go back and see how things would have changed if I had done them differently. And in these situations, I never really feel like I did the wrong thing. I want to go back and see all the different ways. It would be interesting to see those movies as well.
Right.
If you put that, you know, this game is really more of a movie that you just have a little bit of say in.
Right. You're curious about the other ways that the game had, but you're satisfied with the ending that you've achieved based on the decisions that you've made.
Satisfied with the ending that I've achieved, as well as knowing that if I could do it again and it were real life, I wouldn't change the way I did it.
Sure.
If those branches, if they didn't show you those branches, if they didn't exist, I would know that not just that I'm happy with the end result, but I'm happy with the steps it took to get there. I wouldn't have changed. Like I said, you know, you brought up that one spot where we couldn't pick the answer quickly enough because the timer ran out.
Right.
I still don't feel like I want to go back to that moment and get to choose the answer.
Sure.
Because what happened was it worked perfectly. I wouldn't change a second of it. I really wouldn't.
Good. So, as I said, we would love to hear people's opinions, thoughts, etc. Again, on anything that we discussed, on anything that we did, on anything that any decisions that the game makers made, right? The developers, etc. Any of those thoughts down in the comments below. Keep the conversation going. We would love to read your thoughts and talk back to you if we feel that there's more discussion to be had on our end as well. Talk with your fellow commenters as well. But yeah, we will be back next week for more. You definitely don't want to miss it, which means you should subscribe and ring that bell so that you will get notifications whenever any of our videos come out, including, like I said, next week's continuation of this series. We also have other channels. Check the description down below for that, as well as links to our socials. But for now, from us here at the Geek for All family of channels, I have been Joe.
And I'm Amy.
Thank you all so very much for watching. And as we always say, in whichever video of ours you watch next, we will see you all next time. Thanks, everybody.